This is the Pop Tournaments podcast. In Pop Tournaments, we take a category of pop culture and let you, the fans, vote on matchups in a single elimination tournament format to determine an ultimate champion. We are here to discuss those results and the upcoming matchups. Thanks to our great community and everybody who votes, let's start the show. Hello and welcome back, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. It is episode 27. This is December 21st, 2020. But you are actually listening to this at its soonest possible date, December 23rd. A happy Festivus to everyone. I am Jake Wicker. This is Ryan Barrett.
What's happening, everybody?
Hope everybody is having a wonderful holiday season, no matter what holidays you happen to celebrate. But it is Festivus once again, a hilarious holiday originated by Daniel O'Keefe, a writer whose son, Dan O'Keefe, wrote on the show Seinfeld. And so that's where a lot of you might know Festivus from. It was featured in the show Seinfeld as one of the Costanza family traditions, but it actually originated long before that. So a fun and happy Festivus to everybody. We are currently gathered around the traditional aluminum pole, as is part of the Festivus ways. We are sponsored by nobody. Sponsorships are just crutches. But yeah, Ryan, how is it going? Did you have a good weekend? It's been a while.
It has. It feels like it's been forever.
It's been a
while. Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was very busy. I was out doing deliveries for my side hustle, my Irish cream thing. So I've been really busy this weekend, but we got to watch Tenet last night.
Ooh.
And I can talk more about that later. But
Okay.
but we so yeah, we watched Tenet. That was a big like marquee weekend thing. And yeah, other than that, just a lot of like work and stuff. It was busy and not super fun, but Tenet, man. And
I
other than that, I mean, like you said, it feels like it's been forever since the last time we talked. We on the last 2 weeks ago we recorded a double episode so we could take a week off there. But I've watched a ton of great movies over the last couple of weeks. Mank, which I said on the previous episode, I said, "Oh, I just watched Mank" as a joke, kind of because I knew I was going to be watching it. I absolutely loved. That's definitely going to be in my top 10 of the year. But yeah, just incredibly well made. The way it's shot, the way it looks, the writing, the acting, it's all incredible. Highly recommend.
that can be our next T-shirt. It can just be the Pop Tournaments logo, and underneath, I'm going to be watching Mank.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with Mank, it's the show starring Tony Shalhoub. It was from the late 2000s on USA. Characters welcome. Highly recommend it.
Fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, it has been a while. Like you said, you've been busy. I've been busy. We both work in that super awesome service industry, and no matter what the situation, we always have a spike this time of year. So people bustling about town, as they say in many of those Jingle Jams we'll be talking about in a little bit. I don't know if you happen to notice the actual Star of Bethlehem has been out the last few days.
No, I'm not a big astronomy nut. So I don't really know anything about stars. I'm also not a big Bethlehem nut. So,
But if you don't know anything about stars, what are you doing on a pop culture podcast?
ooh, touche.
No, apparently it's two planets in our solar system lining up and shining oh so bright. I was informed by my well-to-do, wonderful, awesome, amazing girlfriend Kaylee.
Very cool.
Who, yeah, apparently there's.
Speaking of, this is kind of astronomy adjacent, or like,
I love it.
my wonderful, beautiful wife Rebecca just told me today. Well, I'm gonna say this the exact way she said it because it was very profound. She said, "Today is the shortest day of the year in the longest year ever."
I will choose to believe that she was the first one to say that.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna pretend that it wasn't just something that was on Twitter or something trending, but it definitely struck a chord with me.
That's, you know what we do. We have a dual episode. This is our solstice episode for our pagans out there.
Represent.
We are recording on the 21st and then releasing on the 23rd for all of our Festivus fans out there. So
and that's why we say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, because we're trying to be inclusive to pagans and Festivus celebrators.
Well, I think that's a good thing because this, so Festivus came from the anti-commercialization of Christmas, which I think this year is kind of important. I was thinking about this earlier. I feel bad. My mom is one of those people. She's amazing, but she always goes way overboard with the Jake, what do you want for Christmas? And this year, I definitely don't want to tell her, but maybe I will say to everybody else out there, if you have money to be buying presents this year, a lot of the people you're going to be wanting to give presents to, they probably just want money. It's tough out there. Like, I feel bad asking my mom, telling her what I want when, like, I don't really want anything. I just want to be able to pay the bills next month.
Just play the song "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp" for her. She'll get the message.
That she will. She is a huge fan of the rap game. So, as it is Festivus, we are going to one of those other traditions is the airing of grievances. We had a few grievances set into us. I'm excited to read through some of these. And maybe if we have any ideas, we can offer up some solutions. But one that was sent to us: I hate my neighbors. They have parties late into the night, early morning, and do not care if they keep people awake. They are rude and selfish and ruin the neighborhood. Ooh, I've had that situation before. Loud neighbors. That's you know what I suggest doing is maybe getting some some rat or some scorpions, playing it real loud just after they go to bed.
I thought you were talking about animals.
Yeah, and you're releasing some
get
rats.
Some rats or some scorpions.
And some scorpions.
Put it in their bed.
Yeah, noisy neighbors. They are the worst, absolute worst. I do not like the noisy neighbors. Another one sent in, I patronize a local coffee shop that I love that doesn't seem to engage in targeted print or mail marketing. I live 2 blocks away from this Java joint and never get mailers promoting this awesome place that isn't Starbucks. I'm happy to engage in the feats of strength with any small business owner that disagrees with me. My best solution is just print up your own coupons. I guarantee you can do this for any store. Just print up your own coupons. They will honor them.
That's a very Costanza approach.
What are you talking about, Arby's? This says 5 roast beef for $1. Another one that I was given to or talked to about personally. We have a park near us. Nobody picks up after their dogs. I thought we were all supposed to be working together. That's Come on, pick up after your dogs, people.
That one
It's,
surprises me. I feel like people who own dogs like know better, you know?
I think this is more of a suburban problem than a
Sure.
city problem. Another one sent in. My boyfriend will never shut up about his podcast. It. Never mind. We will skip over that one. I think we know where that came from. Personally, my grievances this year: football games are too high scoring. I don't like that. I'm
More
old.
defense.
More defense. Come on. Too many things are made too convenient that don't need to be. I'm kind of ripping off a old David Cross bit here, where he talks about electric scissors and how they save you so much time. But that seems like we're getting too many things. I love listening to people argue with their home devices when it doesn't understand them, when they say weird things. And could you repeat that? It's like you could have just figured that out on your own 10 seconds ago, but you argued with a machine for 3 minutes.
I'll tell you, as somebody who is a big fan of uh smart home devices and AI stuff around the house,
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten really spoiled by it, and it kind of sucks because like I'll depend on it. Like I'll be at work and I'll like go into the dry storage area, and I'll be like, Alexa, turn on what, and I'll be like, oh crap, that doesn't work. But the other thing that I've found that's the big downfall of it is like people can really fuck with your shit via mass media. And it's happened to me multiple times where
Mm-hmm.
like comedians, TV shows, whatever, will say like especially like boomer comedians complaining about it is
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing I've seen this, where they're like, "Hey everybody, Alexa, do this." Oh, like I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna fuck with your shit, but they say it, and then all of a sudden your lights start going on and off. Like this happened one time, and like my wife Rebecca is sleeping in the middle of the night, and like some guy starts going, Alexa, blah blah blah, and like it starts controlling all the house, and I'm like, yeah, it's easily, you could really hack into people's stuff pretty easy. But yeah, I that being said, I really enjoy it,
Oh,
even though even though I know I give up a level of privacy through doing that. Like they can listen to everything I say and do, but whatever.
I understand the convenience and
I don't have
awesomeness of
to flip lights up and down anymore. Like you suckers.
it. You're going to be on your deathbed. I saved 10 minutes with electric scissors and 2 minutes not flipping lights on and off. And that's how you'll spend your extra 12 minutes. My last grievance: nobody talks about Back to the Future 3 enough. What's
Oh,
wrong with people?
I, I don't, maybe I need to revisit that, but I've never been a fan of Back to the Future 3.
Yeah,
I
I
was
can tell.
always a Back to the Future 2 stan, as like a kid. And as an adult, I'm able to look back and go like, okay, Back to the Future 2 is kind of like, it's obviously like an inferior sequel to the amazing movie that is Back to the Future. But Back to the Future 3 is basically like an Indiana Jones movie that
Whoa,
just
whoa,
happened
whoa.
to like involve time traveling and like pink vests. I don't know. I I need to rewatch it, I think, but
I won't.
it just never really did anything for me.
I won't belabor the point, but it is
No.
the superior of the trilogy. So that's all I'll say about that. I'm hoping, at least because you kind of gave a little preview. So I was going to ask, do you have any grievances this year? And you alluded to it earlier. I'm hoping Tenet falls on your grievances list.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't fall on my grievances list. I don't care that much about it.
Okay, you just
Um,
said you were going to talk about it later. So
no. I just was thinking like I want to get away. I want to get through with like others. I don't even know. I didn't really have anything to talk about, so I don't know why I said I would save it for later.
all
I'll
right,
just
all
say
right.
Tenet I thought was fine. It was
It's
like
fine.
if you're going into it being like this movie is gonna like look really cool and sound really cool, and I can like turn up my cool surround sound system or whatever, and I can utilize my 4K TV or whatever, you're gonna have fun with it. It's a very cool looking movie and cool sounding movie. It's well made. The Nolan team always puts out like cool looking shit,
So
but
if you're
it's like very confusing and like the plot's not really anything great. I found it kind of boring. I mean, it's a lot of just kind of like action without character. I don't know. It just I didn't really care about any of it. It just kind of seemed like um, cool looking stuff. But it was fun. I mean, I definitely wouldn't say like if you're on the fence about spending $20 on it, I would say don't. But that you also get the satisfaction of being like, oh, I saw a brand new movie. I would have gone to see this in the theater and spent more than that, which is kind of what our excuse was.
we
So
we should start a movie podcast where we review movies, and instead of thumbs up or thumbs down, we add
yeah,
in the price of watching said movie and say do or don't.
yeah, free
I'm sorry.
do.
So that was not your grievances. What are your grievances this year?
My grievance this year is like it's something that I deal with every year, but this year it's just like really been grinding my gears, and I'm so fucking done with it.
Hmm.
That is seasonal dry skin.
Yes.
I am just like it. I am like in really really terrible shape this year. It's usually like I feel like every year the first time it hits like 10 degrees, my fingers just start going and like popping open like splits. Um and I'll get like dry knuckles and stuff where all of a sudden I'm just like have to use like copious amounts of lotion. This year I have like full on like eczema on my hands, and it's mostly limited to my hands, which is good. I'm sure it could be a lot worse, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have a lot worse off than me, but I'm just like it's so fucked up that it's like literally, from November to March, and then it's
Hmm.
just like all better, and then I get 7 months of like perfectly normal skin, and then it's just right back to it again.
two,
um
two,
just
two job questions
makes me
for you.
want to say bah humbug.
Do you do you guys take it? Do you handle cash at work?
Occasionally, not a ton, but I mean,
Good, good.
we do
Do
accept cash.
and I know since you're working with drinks, so it's kind of automatic for you, no matter what the situation is. But for the bigger dishes, do you guys have a dish? I'm assuming you guys have a mechanical dishwasher.
Yep.
But as a person who deals with drinks, you're constantly dunking your hands in solutions.
Nope, nope, I don't have
No,
to do that.
oh, you're not.
That
Okay, okay.
that's like kind of an old school dishwasher, the triple sinks, which
Yep.
some bars do have. We don't. We have a glass washer behind the bar that like it's like a carousel where you put the glasses in, and then it goes through like a um like a curtain sort
Yep.
of, and goes around and goes
Yeah.
through all the stations of sanitation. And
For our audio listeners, Ryan was making a circular motion with his hand,
yeah.
a circular motion.
um
Uh,
and so yeah, I don't have to put, but I mean still
I'm trying to get you extra sympathy here.
in the food service industry right now, I mean, we're always washing our hands all the time,
Right.
but during COVID,
And
it's
the
like
extra
you're washing your
sanitizing.
hands every you know
Right.
20
And
minutes.
you're handling sanitizer solution and
Yep, yep.
sanitizer rags
And
and
yeah, the sanitizer just like dries out your hands extra. So I mean
and that,
that stuff already does a number, but on top of the weather, it's just like
Yeah, the weather's the biggest factor,
Yeah.
and obviously, for people listening outside of Minnesota as a whole just has terribly hard water. We all, if you don't have perfect skin, you got to deal with it here, and that's why I asked you about the cash, because people will say you can wear gloves, but again, as soon as you handle cash, do you really want somebody touching cash and then putting their fingers into your, preparing your food? Come
Hmm.
on, that's, cash is already disgusting, and like you said, now during COVID. So, uh, yeah, fuck off, seasonal dry skin.
Yeah.
You got to hear about it from us.
I
Eddie, oh, go ahead.
I also, I mean, speaking of seasonal, like the whole like just seasonal in general, this has been such a mild winter, which has been nice. It's been
Yep,
a nice little like, oh God, at
blessing.
least it's not a shitty winter on top of everything else. But
Except for our East Coast friends who just got fucked.
yeah, but I I definitely am feeling like the seasonal depression right now. And I think it's like the short days on top of just like general shit. The short days, I think, is really what's doing it. But just like the accumulation of a year of this magnitude, I just feel like I kind of hit a wall
Pop,
like in
pop.
the last month where I seriously, to 100, I like bawled the other night. I just came home from work and started crying. Um, and that was probably the first time where I had a full, this year, when I had like a full on like 2020 meltdown. Um,
You held out longer than most of us.
I know. And I mean, I've had bad days, but I mean, like I was sobbing.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Um, but yeah, it's been a fucking rough year,
It
obviously.
has.
What I don't even know why I have to say that. It's
No, you do. That's what we're doing here. We're
yeah.
airing our grievances. We're telling this year to fuck off. Real quick, do you happen to take vitamin D supplements?
Yeah, I mean, I take a multivitamin.
Okay, okay, good. That's seasonal depression is a very, very real thing, and I hope anybody out there, if you're ever feeling bad, please, get
I'm also on antidepressants as well. So
yeah,
like, you know, I'm
yeah. It's
I'm you know, that is being addressed in my real regular full life. Like
yeah,
it's not like this is strictly limited to uh you know,
right.
just winter.
Yeah,
And
and
it's also,
goofing off here. Yeah,
I feel like people who deal with like mental health issues
hmm
can be like have everything fully under control for like months and months and months, and then just like hit a streak due to something like
yeah.
seasonal depression where all of a sudden it's just like fuck, I feel like I'm in a shitty place now, which
And you're
it happens.
yeah, you're multiplying it with everything that's going on in the world right now,
Yep,
and
yep.
and that's all I guess I was trying to say is like nobody should feel ashamed if they have any issues. The
100%.
the brain is a muscle. You hurt your leg, you hurt your brain. You have it's nothing to there, and just so everybody knows, there's always somebody out there that is willing to listen and help, be it one of the two of us or somebody else you might know, or anything. So, no, definitely that's a great thing to bring up, and I'm glad you were willing to do that. It's a good message to put out this time of year. We're here goofing off and having fun, but we can talk about serious things too. So, and goofing off and having fun is one way to kind of get around that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so to all of the grievances out there, and I will say real quick, just because we didn't get a whole ton sent to us, congratulations on everybody out there in the pop tournaments world having an awesome 2020. That
Yeah.
you didn't have anything to be pissed off about. Good for you guys. I am so happy, so happy for you. Um, good on that.
I am
But
excited though. I just want to say real quick to the Pop Tarts out there, we got so much engagement in our question regarding people's first DVDs. I'm really excited to talk about that once Jen
mhm.
comes back. Which did we even mention that Jen's not here?
Yeah, I didn't know at what point we should,
Yeah.
mix that
So
in, and go ahead.
Jenny is with her family
In space.
in space. They decided to leave Earth. No. So she is not here this week, but she will be back next week.
Yes,
So we miss her. It's not the same without her,
it is not.
but she insisted we go on without her in
She,
true like Saving Private Ryan
yeah, she's
fashion.
the. I was gonna say she's the dying soldier in pretty much
Yeah.
any war movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do wish her a happy holiday season, and we've discussed a lot of different holidays. I hope everybody also for the pagans out there, if anybody needs extra sage, I got extra sage to burn. I know some of the Brooklyn Nets are currently burning sage in opposing locker rooms, so good on them. Um, a happy start to the NBA season for those of you who worship the NBA, and which starts this week. And most of us we pretty much focus on Christmas, and we were kind of
We are also in the throes of Hanukkah now, though. Like
we yep
Hanukkah's right in the thick. It's right in the thick of Hanukkah right now. So it would be
be remiss if we
shitty of
didn't.
us to not say Happy Hanukkah for real on the not joking around. Happy Hanukkah as well.
One of my more recent favorite podcast, I'll say podcast that I listen to on a regular basis, All Fantasy Everything. Ian Carmel, he was having some high stakes dreidling with his girlfriend
Oh wow.
during Hanukkah, and lost a bit of money. Lost a bit of money, he did. So good on him. And again, all of these are fun holiday traditions. Speaking of holiday traditions, do you have Ryan? Does your family or you and your wife have any movie traditions? Something that's watched on a specific day, or something that you watch multiple times.
Well, the thing that is the only thing I'd say is like specific to the day, and it's not really like we have to start it at this time and then we have to whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we watch A Christmas Story every Christmas day
Mm-hmm.
on TV during the like playing it for
The
a
marathon.
full whatever, yeah. And usually we'll end up starting it somewhere in the middle and then like watching it through the end and then starting it, and watching it back to the point where we got, like very like Christopher Nolan style cut
There you
of
go. The tenant cut of.
the tenant cut of Christmas Story. And but the movies that I hold much closer to my heart are not ones that we have like specific dates set for. They're
Yeah.
always just like we need to before Christmas watch this movie. The big one for me that I grew up watching every single year, and I just have such a huge like nostalgia for is it's called Scrooge, and it's not the Bill Murray Scrooged,
Mm-hmm.
just Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's a version of A Christmas Carol from the late 70s, starring Albert Finney and Alec Guinness.
Hmm.
It's a musical.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were kids, it used to be on like CBS every year before Christmas. They used to play it every year on TV, and then I don't know, the contract ran out or something, and they just stopped playing it.
I think I
You
remember
know,
this.
So it was, it kind of just like fell out of the zeitgeist. And it's crazy because now like it seems like nobody knows what it is. Every
Yeah.
time I'm like, oh, my favorite Christmas movie is Scrooge, and they're like, oh, love it, Bill Murray, am I right? And I'm like, no, 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 no,
No,
not
not
Scrooged. It's a
Tru-
musical. And so I mean, I want to say I highly recommend it, but it's such a huge part of my childhood
mhm.
that it's really hard for me to even know if it's good or not,
Right.
because it's like I have such strong attachment to it.
You can't look at it objectively.
Exactly.
You know,
But I know like I introduced Becky to it, and she likes it. So I mean I would think that it's
it holds up.
good.
You would think.
Um, but yeah, that's my like number one Christmas movie for me.
Hmm.
The other ones we usually watch Christmas Vacation every
Hmm.
year.
I mean,
I
we got
think that
the normal.
and the other one that is newer to my Christmas tradition list. This is kind of like Becky's Scrooge,
Hmm.
is Christmas Eve on Sesame Street.
Yep.
And
Very, very good.
this one I don't know. I don't think I was familiar with it until I met Rebecca, and she introduced me to it, and it's just wonderful. I
Hmm.
mean, if you're a fan of like 70s TV, it's really cool because you get like, kind of that, it's a really cool 70s Sesame Street,
Yeah.
so you get that like early season 1 look at Sesame Street. But I mean, the songs are incredible in it. Um, and it's just really fun. Definitely recommend Christmas Eve on Sesame Street.
I can definitely agree with that. I have to say, so when you were describing Scrooge and you referenced when we were kids, do you? I'm pretty sure you know the boxing documentary When We Were Kings.
Hmm.
So I just the phrase rolls off the tongue so well. We should make a child boxing documentary called When We Were
A
Kids,
parody documentary.
just about kids fighting in the street.
I like it.
Yeah. See, for me, the Sesame Street one is definitely I remember from childhood, um, and we're one of those family that we watch Christmas Vacation probably 5 times. During in the first pretty much always being on Thanksgiving right after we've eaten. Um, that's we'll get more into that movie another time. I don't want to belabor that point, but yeah, we just run through the classics, and
That's the thing that's
we
weird, though. I think everybody's classic is different to some degree. I think some people can say, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of people that would say that Christmas Vacation and Home Alone are not classics. You know what I
well,
mean? I think
I'll say I guess I just mean like I we watch way more movies than your average person.
sure.
So while you might not consider it a classic, would you put it in your top 50? Then we watched it. That
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I don't want to I don't want to waste time
Yeah.
talking about
It's
lots of movies that everybody's seen. But what I do, since we run out of movies pretty quickly, um, we go back to and again, a lot of shows are on break during December. They're not showing new episodes, so we will go back and watch a lot of Christmas episodes or holiday episodes of different TV shows. Since so much is available now, through so many different streaming options. Personally, I really like actually going back and watching the Roseanne, really any holiday episodes. She was famous for her Halloween episodes, but definitely some really good Christmas ones in there. And even though I don't really stand for the show like overall, their holiday episodes were really something. That was during the golden era of like or I shouldn't say more Renaissance era of like
Sitcoms.
must watch sitcoms.
Yeah.
You know, it was that time. You know, you had TGIF on Fridays for ABC, and that was an ABC show that was definitely needing watching. I loved most of the Office Christmas episodes. I actually just watched the other day. I love when everybody gets mad at Michael and he runs off to the liquor store and he goes, "Is this enough to get 20 people plastered?" And it's 15 bottles of vodka. And the guy just kind of looks at him and goes, "Yeah, that should do it." Really, really great Office Christmas episodes, which again, I'm sure most people out there listening to us have seen. My favorite obscure one, and every time I try to show it to people, it's just too weird for them. But it is available on YouTube. Um, there was a short-lived, full 20-minute show based on the short-running bit from Saturday Night Live, TV Funhouse, and there is it features a guest appearance by Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, but TV Funhouse had a Christmas episode. It's on YouTube. It's really weird. Every time I try to show it to people, I lose a friend every time. But if you like really obscure, bizarre comedy, that is the way to go. Ryan, I know you have a few.
Yeah, I mean, uh, the it was funny. The first thing that came to my mind wasn't a Christmas episode per se. It was something that like brought me back. It's something that I know is very near and dear to your heart. Brought me
Mm-hmm.
back to like watching TV during Christmas. Comedy Central back in the early 90s, they used to every Thanksgiving they would have a Mystery Science Theater 3000 marathon, like the
Mm-hmm.
Turkey Day marathon. Um, and then for Christmas, they would have the Saturday Night Live marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like they would play all the Christmas episodes, but then they would also just play like other, you know, episodes from throughout the years. Everything from like season 1 to, season 16 or wherever they were at that point. Um, so like that was where I saw a lot of that earlier stuff and where I saw like, oh my God, what the fuck? Robert Downey Jr. was in Saturday Night Live, and like, um, you know, that was kind of a big uh, Christmas watch for me. And, you get to
Mm-hmm.
see like all the great Christmas sketches from Saturday Night Live's past. Um,
There's some good ones.
Obviously, you have to mention the Festivus episode of
Mm-hmm.
Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
The particular Office episode that I thought of was the Yankee Swap episode with the
That
iPod.
is the one that so
Is
they
that
all
the
get
same
mad at
one
Michael.
with the?
Yeah, because he gets a bonus, and that's
Yeah.
why he bought, or that's his excuse. But yeah, that
Uh,
is a fantastic. But go on, sorry.
um, and then I have two more that are both kind of like you could argue with me about. Well,
Um,
one of them is full on one of my favorite, Christmas episodes of all time, but it's not. It's from a more obscure show called Peep Show. If you're not
mhm.
familiar with it, highly, highly recommend it. It's really,
Is it
really easy to binge. It's
is it still on Netflix?
I don't remember where it is now. I don't know where it's living.
Was for a while. I
It
know that for sure. That's where I watched it.
Yeah, it's a British comedy, and each episode's like 22 minutes long. I feel like I may have talked about it on this podcast before. Um, but it's really easy to binge because it's in classic like British TV fashion. Each season is like 6 episodes, and each episode is like 22 minutes. So it's
Hmm.
like you can watch the entire series, even though it's like 10 seasons long. You can watch
Great
the
show.
entire series pretty quick. Um, but it's really innovative. They have a really cool take on like an idea for a show, and the stars
Hmm.
of it are like a comedy team, like a comedy duo, um, that are really popular in England. But
The
Anyway,
Christmas episode.
their Christmas episode is like absolutely unforgettable. It's so great. It's season 4, I believe, or series 4, as they call it across the pond. Um, but yeah, great episode. The one that I think uh, is a little bit less of a Christmas episode. This is more of a diehard pick, but
Oh boy.
The Constant, Lost.
Oh, easy. Oh my God, how did I forget about that?
Um,
For those of you who don't know, Lost is my absolute all-time favorite drama show ever.
and The
I don't
Constant is
fight
probably the
anybody.
best episode.
It's it's either that or for me it might be Greatest Hits
But
when
it's
Charlie has his.
but it's Christmas Eve. It takes
It
place.
definitely-
It takes place during Christmas.
Yep.
Not a traditional Christmas episode per se.
Damn.
But yeah,
You out weirded me.
I thought you'd like that one.
That was a good pick. I mean, there's so many. I really want to. For me, any
Futurama,
sitcom,
Futurama, and The
Futurama,
Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
There's so many good options.
like I can actually tolerate the Christmas episodes of Friends, and like your laugh track sitcoms. Afternoon Delight, Arrested Development.
Oh yeah,
Everybody dance now. Well, we've delayed long enough. We should probably talk about the tournament.
yeah. Let's get to it.
That's
that
what we're
that
here
was a
for.
fun convo though.
So we're into the second round now. We'll just kind of breeze through some of these second round matchups. A few of them have already happened, as pretty much everyone will know if you're listening to this. So we had All I Want for Christmas beating Let It Snow. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I just realized we didn't even talk about the big event of the week. The fucking
was?
Mandalorian, dude.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think at this point,
I mean, no spoilers.
no spoilers, but it was a big one.
It was a big one. I saw a great meme with the the Captain Phillips meme, but it said look at me. Jon Favreau is George Lucas now.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Although that's that almost made it into my grievances is how like now we're not going to give you a movie every year. We're just going to pound you with a TV show every 3 months. And
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
That was as good. I mean, that episode, I would say even this season was as good as, it was way better than the last Star Wars movie, I think.
Oh yeah. No, and again, I'm okay. I guess I'm okay with that. I don't know. It's sometimes I feel like, just everybody simmer down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to get off of that.
No,
I just felt like we were neglecting the helmeted elephant in the room.
the Grogu in the room.
We were yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Go on, get.
Get out of here. Yeah, I thought you were going to bring up Tiny Horse.
Yeah.
When you talk about the elephant in the room,
Yeah.
the tiny elephant in the room was Tiny Horse. But we'll get to that on a different episode. So back to our Jingle Jamz tournament. We had All I Want for Christmas beating Let It Snow. That's a match that's already happened in the second round. I think we probably saw this coming. I think the biggest challenge for All I Want for Christmas is going to come in the next round. I don't think there's too much to say about that matchup there, right?
Nope. This wasn't a surprise at all. Even though I think people are ready to vote against All I Want for Christmas Is You, this wasn't the one.
The song. Yep. And that's kind of where I'm getting. I think so. The following match or the matchup below is this Christmas versus Mele Kalikimaka, and I personally see this Christmas dominating this match and then turning into one of our closest matchups in the third round.
Me too. I think this is going to be a dark horse. I hope. I mean
I
that
do
would
too.
make my day.
I like it. I mean, personally, if I'm ranking these, there's a chasm between these songs, and this Christmas is higher. Is on the mountaintop there.
Yeah.
Jumping down to the next bracket, we had the Christmas song beating "Happy Xmas War is Over." I thought it would be a little closer, but the Christmas song is going to take on the winner. And this is an interesting matchup here. Christmas Time is Here, uh, very well known, but one of our sadder, more morose songs versus Santa Claus is Coming to Town, very well known, one of our bigger, more upbeat songs. Do you have any thoughts on who comes out of that?
Um, you know, I think Santa Claus is Coming to Town is going to win that matchup and go up
Hmm.
against the Christmas song. That's going to be a tough matchup, though. I think Christmas song is probably the favorite in that region. But
Yeah.
one thing I want to back up here quick though and
Oh,
talk
sorry.
about the first round matchups because we haven't really had a chance to talk about those. And
Mm-hmm.
I was a little surprised at how, I guess, even though I think one of the closer matches of the first round was Santa Claus is Coming to Town beating Christmas in Hollis.
Mm-hmm.
There
It
weren't a
was.
ton of close matchups in the
and
first
it, and it
round.
was yeah, it was close, and it was strangely enough one of the lower vote
Hmm.
totals
Hmm.
overall.
But I was surprised. I thought Christmas in Hollis was going to get more votes. I thought that that could potentially even be a favorite over Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Um, and I also thought River was going to beat Christmas Time is Here. I
Mm-hmm.
guess I kind of underestimated maybe uh, how much people knew that song or liked that song. I felt like that's one of those songs that over the last decade has become part of like the playlist. You know what I mean? I feel like I hear that at every mall, every
I
Christmas now, where I didn't used to.
I think with that one, it was more like, again, if you want to put it into movie terms, and I know you love describing River as the Die Hard
Mm.
here. That's like Die Hard versus Home Alone. While there might be a lot of Die Hard stands, the general public is going to take the obvious
Yeah. And Christmas
Christmas
Time is
song.
Here is from one, it's the theme from one of the most beloved Christmas movies.
Specials. It's only like 23 minutes long.
Sure. Not one of my most beloved, obviously.
No, and also again, we are a Minnesota-based podcast.
Yep.
We got lot of lot of
A lot of
uh,
Schultzes.
lot of Schultzes out there. And yeah, sorry. No, as we go through, do not hesitate to kind of back us up into the first round.
Yeah, yeah.
Where we've had our preview episode on a lot of these songs. But yeah, I don't know. I think those Schultzes might come out, and maybe it's the two slow songs battling each other for a trip to the final four. You would have. I think that'd be an interesting matchup. Christmas Time is Here versus the Christmas song. Very very similar, just kind of on opposite ends of the emotional spectrum, I guess.
Yeah, I just feel like Christmas Time is Here wouldn't really bring much of a battle. That's
And
like
I see that.
that's
Yeah.
bringing a knife to a gunfight, my man.
Uh, how about a noodle to a knife fight?
Yeah, sure.
Let's let's not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, that's going to be an interesting just quadrant overall to see what comes out there. And again, potentially what it would have to go up against in the semifinals in the quadrant above it. Jumping over to the other side, staying on the bottom, we had Santa Baby beating Little Saint Nick, and then the Chipmunk song beating Christmas Rapping. That small little quadrant there, it's kind of funny. This was all like really unique voice or different type of singing in all four of these songs. But I think that matchup, so it was Santa Baby winning and the Chipmunk song winning. again, you got your really high pitched voices here matched up against each other. The old bucket does it again. Um, but Chipmunk song had a really strong showing.
It sure did.
I don't know.
And it's interesting. My first like Christmas memory, my first Christmas gift memory,
Mm-hmm.
was getting a Alvin like toy, an Alvin stuffed toy with the
Yep.
string that does the like whatever. I don't remember what he said. Probably something vile. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I had that for many years. That was like my favorite as a young kid. But I definitely like Chipmunk song more than Santa Baby. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a little bummed little Saint Nick got beat out. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and I really don't like Santa Baby. But yeah, this is a very weird little region here, where I think any of these four songs, had they been going up against like other songs, I think would have been long
Crushed.
shots to win. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think Chipmunk song would have had a chance against some of these bigger names, but I mean, like if Sleigh Ride, for instance, was in this region, I
Mm-hmm.
think it would have breezed through. But I
Well,
just think this was kind of a weaker.
yeah. It'll be interesting whoever wins that matchup going up against. So our current matchup today, as we're recording, is "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" versus "White Christmas." Both of these songs, in their opening round matchups, got over 130 votes. Yet now today, "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" so far is just dominating "White Christmas." So it looks
Surprised.
like that's going to be the song.
Yep.
Um, and honestly, while I think it is a strong contender, I think it's the weakest of the strong contender. I could possibly see the Chipmunk song or upsetting. No,
I don't.
not
I
at
mean, I
all.
don't. I don't think so. I think this. I think today's. I think if White Christmas can't beat it,
All
Chipmunk
right.
song definitely isn't going to beat it. Because I think White Christmas and Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas are two of the top five probably.
If White Christmas can't win in the era of Proud Boys,
I know we
what are
have
we
such a
even
strong
doing?
contingent of our listenership.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We don't have to worry about all our Pop Tarts. You're all wonderful people. You're none of those. But yeah, it's the songs that got beat out there. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. A fun one, but and it put up 58 votes. And Hard Candy Christmas, great song. I think it just suffered from not enough knowledge.
And going up against White Christmas.
Right. See, they showed up for that matchup.
Yeah.
Uh, Jumping up to our last quadrant, we have, and I think so. I'm going to do this in opposite order because I want to save the best for last. So, in the last quadrant, we're going to have Christmas, Baby Please Come Home, up against the most wonderful time of the year. That's tomorrow. Personally, I'm a Christmas baby. Please come home. Darlene Love. I think it should be a slam dunk also, but these are two big sounding songs. One a little more modern and one a little more traditional, but they both have a big sound to them, more orchestral in Most Wonderful Time of the
I would
Year.
almost say that Christmas Baby Please Come Home has a wall of sound.
Yes. Good old Phil Spector there, and that's the last time he'll come up on this podcast. I'm just, um, but yeah, I hope it's a slam dunk. "Christmas Baby Please Come Home" is my, pretty much favorite song in this whole
And
tournament.
and that was, I believe, let me just double check here. I mean, the score of the first round,
Yeah,
80, 88 to 72,
it was
that
very
beat Feliz
close.
Navidad. The other closest one was the Beatles matchup, and that was
Yep,
95-76. So the
I'm right to be worried.
yes, but
I,
I still think that Most Wonderful Time of the Year, maybe more people know it by title, but
mhm.
I still think that Christmas Baby, please.
I hope so. I actually I saw a discussion on Twitter the other day of a few different people how their parents used to tape the David Letterman Christmas episode and how much they always looked for because everything about
Were they British?
No.
Because I don't think those people exist here. Were they Darlene Love's Family?
No,
I'm telling you, the song wasn't popular here.
The whole episode, no, but the whole
I'm just
episode, the
kidding.
whole Letterman episode, because he would have, I can't remember who the guest was. He would have the same guest every year to come on and tell his Lone Ranger stories. Somebody who had worked, again, I'm failing here as a pop culture podcast host, but it just filled me with such joy because Letterman is my all-time favorite late night host, and that's what I grew up with was watching that show. So it's fun, and I really hope that song moves on. But in what I think is the best and most interesting second round matchup, we have Run Rudolph Run versus Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. And speaking of close matchups, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree was beat Last Christmas 78-59. That was a very close one too.
Mm-hmm.
That
was a big surprise too. I mean, I thought Last Christmas, if we would have seeded this tournament, that would have been a 2 seed.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
But I think again, like the Whamageddon thing, I think there's a backlash now that's very strong. That's like, Last Christmas sucks. I hate Last Christmas.
And I'll speak up for Jen here. It is really long and really repetitive.
It is. It's very self-indulgent.
If that song was cut down to 2.5 minutes, it probably could have won this whole thing.
Yeah.
It had to slim up before the tournament, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And also, Run Rudolph Run over Sleigh Ride, 67-51. Again, very, very close. Only 16 votes. So both of these songs just squeaked by, but I think they are super, super evenly matched.
Agreed. And they're both very big in like 90s movies.
Yep.
I think this is going to be a tough one. I'll be rooting for Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. But my favorite out of these 4 songs in this region here would have been Sleigh Ride. So I'm bummed that Sleigh Ride lost, but I'll be rooting for Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, but I'll be happy either way. I like Run Rudolph Run fine too.
I think maybe what hurt Sleigh Ride was its lack of actual Christmasness.
You think?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. They couldn't hit the 3-pointer. I don't know.
I don't think people were like
ever actually mentioned Christmas in that song.
Yeah, no, they don't. But I don't think people hold that against it. I don't think people like talk about that every year. Like, so 2 questions. 1, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And 2, is Sleigh Ride a Christmas song? Like, that's not, nobody talks about that.
You've never been to a Wicker family Christmas. I just realized though, this matchup, this is Home Alone 1 versus Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
So cast your votes now. Or not now, excuse me. Coming up.
Send us an email.
Send Joe Pesci and I always forget his name, and it's help me out here, the other wet bandit.
Oh, Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern of the Sterns. But yeah, that's any predictions going forward? Now that we're past the first round, is there anything that you thought had a chance to win this that is out, or anything that got a lot more love that you now think could win this that you didn't before?
I think Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, I was a lot more worried about, where now I kind of think it definitely has the firepower to go to the championship. I kind of think Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas versus the Christmas song. looks like
That
a very realistic championship match, which I think is super, would be a very respectable, you know.
and I could see again because I think we've talked about how people are ready to vote against All I Want for Christmas. I think this Christmas would actually give the Christmas song a run for its money.
Potentially.
If
I
that
just think,
were the way for it to work out.
I just think the Christmas song, as much as there's, a million amazing versions of it, I think
Mm-hmm.
there's such like people hold that Nat King Cole version in such high esteem in the same way
Mm-hmm.
that they do with Bing Crosby's White Christmas. I think it's sort of like just a essential Christmas record. Like if you had to make a Christmas mixtape and it
Mm-hmm.
was 15 minutes long, it would have that on it. Like it would have to, I think.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I mean, again, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but who knows how the votes will come in?
I think that should be our next homework assignment for all the Pop Tarts. Make a 15-minute Christmas playlist.
I do want to bring up real quick. We kind of skipped over it. It's a version of a song that we never got around to talking about, and I think is kind of a big lapse on our part. So uh, I think this Christmas dominates Mele Kaliki Maka, but the Island Man himself, Jimmy Buffett, does probably the best version of this Chris. No, I'm kidding. Mele Kaliki Maka.
That would be hilarious.
But yeah, if you haven't heard the Jimmy Buffett version, if you're a parrot head, well, if you're a parrot head, you have to have heard that.
Yeah.
But I recommend it for you non-parrot heads out there. Um, the guy he's hopping around islands. He's got his toes in the sand. He knows how to do that song justice. But yeah, sorry, I had to make sure we threw that in there. It was again a big lapse on my part. So
So I just want to say, I'm thinking, I just kind of came up with this idea today as I was driving around making my deliveries. I'm thinking about recording a version of The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, but writing new lyrics and getting rid of the ghost stories and old glories and stuff, and just putting in new stuff, updating it.
if you're doing, I mean, you could. It's literally a 2020 version. You could say there's tales of I don't know, tales of no COVID and
Something that rhymes with COVID.
something.
Um,
No, but no, that's a great idea. Is that the only part you're going to remove, or
no.
are you
The whole
open to
thing.
the whole thing?
I'm even going to change the title. I'm going to change every word to. I'm just kidding. No, I'm going to keep the title and the
Okay.
necessary lyrics.
Okay.
Just take out all the. They've got blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? That
You're
stuff.
gonna
I'm going to change.
just come up with a whole new list.
Yeah,
Because I mean, really,
it's a
this
list
song
song.
it's like a to do list. This
Exactly.
is all the things we have to do. Yeah, no, I like that. I love that idea. I think that's a great idea.
And this
I
saying,
think
I said it on a podcast, so that's copyright.
and I think you should do it on your own. But I think all of you out there listening should bombard Ryan with your suggestions.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just kidding.
And if anybody knows how to like record and produce music, hit me up.
You should do it for free.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great. Actually, you know what? We should stop this podcast and just spend the next year rewriting and re-recording every one of these songs.
Yeah, with new lyrics.
with new lyrics. Yeah, I already know how to play like
And,
three of
and
them. So.
also like Weird Al style, I think most of them.
Okay,
Like, the Christmas song will now be the Christmas Bong. And it'll be
okay.
like, Cheech and Chong
I mean,
style.
he's already bothering me to get on the podcast. I've had to turn him
And
down a few
and
times, and this is just going to increase that.
I've got another one, the Chipmunk song. We can call it Chipmunk Bong, and it's like kind of a stoner version of the Chipmunk song. Um, I think that could be fun.
And instead of Santa Baby, we can do Bong Baby.
Yeah, bong bong.
And instead of Santa Claus is coming to town, we can
Santa
do
Bong.
Santa Bong is.
Santa Claus is coming to Bong.
And instead of River, we can just do Bong.
Yeah. All right.
It's coming home, Bong.
I think it's coming along
Bong
beautifully.
and in Bong, Bong.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Jen, we miss you. We hope you're having fun with your family in space. But for everybody here at Pop Tournaments, thank you so much. Please keep on voting and keep on popping.
Pop, pop.
Bye.